Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see some history of JavaScript. I've listed out some points so that I don't miss out on anyone. Okay, so it all started with the release of Mosaic Web Browser, which was released in around 1993. It was the first GUI based web browser which basically helped non-technical people to use it. Was used exponentially. Then few people at Mosaic Web Browser who used to work at Mosaic Web Browser, they came out and started Netscape Foundation, which eventually they created a more compatible browser and more faster browser, which they called the Netscape Navigator. That was in 1994. And then after some time they wanted Sun Microsystems to embed Java into their current web browser, that is the Netscape Navigator. They reached out to Sun Microsystems for that, and they reached out to Brendan Eich, who eventually created JavaScript, Brendan Eich, to embed scheme language in Netscape Navigator. The idea in the early phases was to embed scheme language in the Netscape Navigator or to embed Java, but after some time they scrapped that idea and they decided, okay, we want to create a very new language which has the syntax similar to Java and less like other scripting languages. So Brendan Eich started working on that, and he released the first version of JavaScript in pretty much 10 days, 10 or so days. Yes, it was released in 10 days for the first version of JavaScript. So in the early phases of JavaScript, it was not called JavaScript. When it was earlier released, it was called Mocha or Mocha, maybe, I don't know. And then after some time it was renamed to LiveScript in September 1994, and after 3 months of that it was renamed to JavaScript, because at that time Java was pretty popular, it was widely used, so maybe that was the reason it was named to JavaScript, to use the name of Java uh, to empower the JavaScript. And then came Internet Explorer in 1995. What Microsoft did at the time was they reversed engineered the Netscape Navigator. They created their own web browser, Internet Explorer, and they used the language called JavaScript that was same as the Navigator. They pretty much here and there changed something. Then what happened was, when there was multiple browsers coming, it became very difficult for web developers to maintain and create these websites, because they had to write codes that is compatible with both these web browsers or few of these web browsers. And that is the time when we used to see this particular website this works with some version of JavaScript or some version of browser. This works best viewed in this particular web browser, and so on and so forth. So this was that time. And then when it became pretty difficult to manage that things, in 1996 the Netscape, they submitted their JavaScript to ECMA International. ECMA International is an organization. ECM stands for European Computer Manufacturers Association. They standardize things. So there was a need to standardize JavaScript so that everyone and every browser will use the same concept of JavaScript, the same JavaScript, so that there is no need to maintain different versions of JavaScript, and for developers it will become easy if there is a standard way to write JavaScript. So Netscape submitted it to ECMA International, which then went on to standardize the JavaScript. And this was the time when Internet Explorer's market share was around 95%. But eventually, after some time, Internet Explorer stopped collaborating with ECMA International due to some reasons, I don't know. They stopped collaborating. They just stopped collaborating. And then in 2004, Mozilla came. Mozilla joined hands with ECMAScript. They wanted to standardize JavaScript and they wanted to use that. And in 2008, then Google came out with Chrome, that was backed by its very powerful V8 engine that was based on JIT compilation. JIT means just-in-time compilation. It was very fast as compared to Mozilla and other browsers. Then we all know that Google took over everyone, and Internet Explorer from 95% it came down drastically, and even Mozilla. And then, as I told you, JavaScript was submitted to ECMA International, and ECMA International, they kept on working on JavaScript, and they released a standard version of JavaScript for web development. And then ES5 was released. ES5 is ECMAScript 5, the standard version of JavaScript. In December 2009, they released ES5, and after that, every year they released the newer version with some newer features. This is here a link of the ECMAScript releases, ES6, ES7, and so on and so forth till now. Now, JavaScript started from being used only in the web browsers, and in recent times JavaScript is used almost everywhere. If you want to create web apps, you can do that. If you want to create client-side applications with frameworks like React, Vue, and Angular, you can create that. If you want to create a server-side application, you can do that with Node.js. And even if you want to create a mobile application, you can do that with React Native. Or if you want to create a desktop application, you can do that with Electron.js, in which, by the way, your VS Code is done. VS Code is created in Electron.js, or even your Atom web browser, Atom code text editor. It is also created in Electron.js. So this is the power of JavaScript now. This is it for the video, guys. I hope you like this video. Please share it with your friends if you like this video, and do let me know in the comments what else we should cover. Thank you so much for